Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to teach you when to use movement on Apex Legends, probably one of the most common questions asked online. And we're going to learn from Corito, one of Soar's newest members and also a movement god. He's insane. You got to follow him on Twitch. His YouTube is going to be in the links down in the description down below. Just check out these clips and you're going to understand why you're going to learn so much from him.
Yeah, you better get fucked, bro.
All right, so Corito, I want to introduce you, so say hi to everybody.
Hello, hello.
All right, I'm excited. So Corito is the man with all the knowledge, and I'm going to ask you tip number one on when to use movement on Apex. What would be your first tip?
So one thing that I think everybody, regardless of controller, M&K, what their focus is in the game, everyone should be extremely familiar with some sort of zipline movement. It tends to be the most effective, and you end up using it the most. I would say learn how to super jump and all the other things, because it will allow you to win engagements very easily in ziplines.
Corito, what would be your number two tip that you provide everybody?
If you're trying to get into movement in Apex Legends, make sure that you have the absolute basics down. And when I say absolute basics, I mean you have good timing with your slide jumps. You're really familiar and comfortable with just physically moving your character around in game without doing all of the extra stuff. Because at the end of the day, most movement is just that extra. You're doing it for fun to add some spice to your playstyle.
That's a fantastic tip. Now for tip number three, the final tip that you would leave for everyone. Before we get into the educational commentary portion, what would you want to tell everyone about movement?
So one thing about movement is that it can be used offensively and defensively to not only throw off your opponent, as well as break LOS, which can be incredibly useful when trying to split up, say, a 1v3 into 3 separate 1v1s. Super glide over one enemy around a corner to where another person is, and now you have a 1v1 for a quick 5 seconds. And then you do something else and get back around the corner, and so on and so forth.
All right, so now what we're going to segue to next is we're going to break down those awesome clips you had, but also an extra one where you did a 1v6 using movement. So we're going to actually look at it in a real-time environment, and we're going to get into your head and understand how and why you did what you did.
Above you and right here. Both dropping right? I lied. He's dropping right now. He's touching himself in the corner. He's running towards you. He's gonna tell you about free insurance. Be careful. Oh shit. I love that. Another team is coming to you. And
I can't
they're
slide.
viciously hard. I do Angel 07. It's so over.
Such a weird fucking angle.
Climbing up on. To your left. Play that zip line.
You're a fucking creep.
You know there's double zips here, right?
The conduit key, bro.
I love that. Keep that up. I love that.
Need to recharge my shields.
Burtonade exactly where you're standing.
No. I'm so goated.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right here. I want to get into your head on how you got even just the setup here, because you got a nasty flank here, right? Whenever you're flanking, what is your mindset and when you're approaching these encounters? Because you're in essentially a 1v3 right now, right?
Yes.
What is your setup here?
So I had landed up on top and got an awful gun. So the reason I'm late to this is because I was trying to find, attachments, whatever. I have no mag R9, no mag alternator.
Gotcha.
And so my friend had told me 5 seconds prior to this that he was getting thirsted. So my thought process is I hear 2 people to my left. So I know that I have should have a free one clip on this guy because he's trying to thirst my teammates or off doing God knows what behind me to my left. Coming behind, I'm like, okay, I at least have a free 1v1 right now. I just have to hit my shots.
Now I'm just going to ask for the next follow-up because you got that right there. Why did you feel inclined to go for an immediate super glide here?
I heard my teammate comms on your left and I hear him moving up on my left. So I'm thinking his teammate has his back turned to me. If I take a lot of space here, I can for sure catch this guy off guard.
And there you go. Catches him off guard right there. Now, a lot of questions always prompt, and this is actually a really good one here, on why did you decide to use a wall bounce here?
So, the really technical answer is, and this is, some people might not like this, some might, there's about an 80% chance this guy's on controller, and the angle that he came at me at, I knew that if I did a fatigue bounce and tap strafed back the other way, I'm probably breaking his camera, and I need that extra time to be able to pull out my second gun.
That's a really, really good tip, because I feel like most people don't know when to fatigue wall bounce, or they may just stay in this encounter. And I guess it's a really good point, because if you just stood in front of him right there, and you were in the controller LOS, right?
Yeah,
breaking
my
the camera.
My back is right up against the wall. I have only the ability to move left and right, so I'm just going to get absolutely destroyed by his aiming assistance.
That makes sense. And so you use the advantage of movement to, like you said, break the camera. That's a really great term right there. And it gives you the ability to move away and to reset here. All right, so we got somebody coming up at the door here. See, whenever, believe you actually use a wall bounce here. Climb up. Were you trying to super glide right there? Is that what
I was indeed.
Now, here's the thing, because I have a question for you, and I think a lot of viewers are asking, because it's sometimes a little bit of a gamble when you super glide, right?
Especially for me right now, because I'm playing on a far higher FPS than I was a few days ago.
That's a good point.
So I'm still getting used to everything.
Because the timing is different, because you're at, I see the upper right.
Far different.
We see it at 240 hertz, or
and
FPS.
I was on 160 a few days ago.
Gotcha.
So almost a 100 FPS difference.
And there's that fatigue wall bounce to kind of clean it up again, right?
Yeah, that was mainly because I just kind of was like, okay, that really had no strategic advantage. I was just like, okay, I have this guy dead to rights. So I'm just going to go for it.
That makes sense. Would you say that, we know that it's a bit of both. It helps you benefit by beating a fight, but it can be a little flashy, right? I think you kind of said that in your tips, right? So it's not always necessary, but it does help, especially, which is kind of why I'm breaking this down. When does it help versus when does it flash? Right?
So I would say it's always flashy and it's sometimes helpful because who doesn't like to watch just somebody move around and look all silly? It's fun. But there are a lot of situations in which it can be incredibly helpful. Like I said prior, like breaking somebody's camera.
Exactly, which is a really good term.
That's a huge benefit of it because if you take you super glide over somebody and you slow it down because once again, it's about an 80% chance they're on controller. Their turn speed is incredibly slow because we're in the 4-3 meta. They're turning at an incredibly slow speed. You have a good half a second to full second advantage on somebody to shoot. And in a game like Apex with such a high TTK, like those first few bullets really matter.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That does make a whole lot of sense. So as we segue here, I'm going to ask you the question because you're now in another clean 1v3 here, right? You've already used movement, you've won your fight, you got your teammate's banner, and of course, the infamous third party is always showing up, and you have a Valkyrie on the height right here, right?
So my thought process, and as my teammate says right there, this building has a really weird zip line that runs long ways like that. So I immediately was like, okay, I cracked this guy, I have a free 1v1, I'm going to super jump, tap strafe up, and, even though he got conduit queued, it was just a little bit too late.
So isolating out movement, getting you up there, because I guarantee they would have heard you a little bit sooner as you were climbing, right? Even though this game doesn't
absolutely.
have audio.
If I climbed up on that guy, odds are I probably get one clipped.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at very clean right there. That was nice. And then blocking the door here.
Somehow he manages to open this.
Oh, that is so unfortunate for them. And then the ballistic, good movement. Oh, we got to talk about that. Okay, is this to save yourself right here, or was that just flash? In your
that
opinion?
was 100% to save myself. So if we break this down again, he catches me super off guard here. Now I have to let a full ballistic Q animation play out as well as reload my gun because my other weapon is out of ammo.
Yeah.
So my thought process here is, okay, this guy is not that good at the video game. You know, we're playing Conduit. He's missing his shots. Like, I have a very strong inquiry that he's probably not a very good player. So in a very, like, you know, we're really up close right here. Like, personally, I don't exactly expect somebody to do that. I didn't think he did either, because if you look right there, he is just
panicking.
Looking in every direction except for where I am. So, you know, I go for the fatigue wall bounce, and my reload animation is still playing out. So while I let it play out, I do a little backwards lurch strafe, and it just completely messes up everything he does.
Nice. And yeah, and then he clearly misses and panics too. And so boom, we see the clutch here, and win movement is 100% going to help you win an encounter. Defensively.
Yeah, like if I don't do that there and I just take the straight up aim 1v1 duel, like it's a Conduit player, I have a no mag alternator, I'm low health, I lose that every day.
That's fantastic. That was really great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover one more clip, and let's segue to that now. All right, so what we're looking at here is the next clip. This is a 1v3 Sentinel by Corito, and his aim is absolutely nutty right off the rip right here. So let's take a look. 126 knock, really nice. I'm gonna talk about this movement. Okay, so this is where I think people can get frustrated and say, you're just super gliding for no reason. But even then, do you feel like this is for no reason?
There's a very strong reason here. So it doesn't show it in this clip, but about 5 seconds prior to this, I hit one dude behind that wall over there that I see it.
Yeah, I see him back there. Yeah.
There's two people back there, and I know they're both back there, and I know they're either healing or looting because I'm the third party here. They just finished up a fight.
Yeah.
So once again, and I was right here, 80% chance these guys are on controller. If they're healing or looting, they are stationary. And would you look at that?
Yeah, look at that. And then another one. So the second super glide there.
My goal with that super glide there is, I'll let it play. So right here, he didn't really do what I expected him to do. I expected him to wrap around the wall, and my goal was to super glide there and use that wall to break line of sight with him. But he just ran scared, so it was kind of free after that point.
Yeah, and surprisingly, even though there was a knock, they're looting, which is really strange, to be honest. They didn't even care about their teammate. And now they care, now that they're getting blasted. But I mean, listen, if people are standing still while looting, the chances are that they are on controller.
Absolutely.
That's information. And I guess one tip to provide to everybody, and I say this all the time, even my own content, is information is king, right? You got to know who you're facing up against, what's their skill level, or what input are they on. And those are things you can guess from just looking at an opponent. Like you said, there's two people across the way, you knocked one, they have to cross over to you, and you can definitely break their ankles if you move up and you just start super gliding on top of them.
And yeah, so I'll break down a little bit of right after I kill this Ash. So right here, I expect him to come at me because, you know, default controller Bloodhound, like, yeah, it's a stereotype, but like I expected bro to just run straight at me.
Yeah.
But he didn't. I expected him to go right. He went left. So my goal was if he went right, I was going to super glide to where I am now and use that wall that I'm playing to shoot at him the direction I'm looking currently. But he didn't. So I super glide here. I see that he went left. So right here, I tap strafe back around this wall so I have cover to play and just take the easy shot.
It's really nice. Great commentary. That's fantastic. Like, even just breaking down stuff like this, I think is incredibly helpful. So honestly, I would love to do a part 2 with you. So if you enjoyed this, guys, please be sure to go follow Corito. All his socials are going to be linked down below. Let us know if you want a part 2 of this and really learning movement, but also not only that, but also getting into the brain of a really good movement player and understanding that there is more than just finesse, but true thought process and using it as an extension of your gameplay. So Corito, go and give a shout out to your socials, and yeah, we'll wrap up the video.
Well, I post on YouTube every 7 days. It's usually full gameplays, 20 bombs, 4Ks, you know, the whole 9 yards. And I stream on Twitch 2 or 3 times a week at least, sometimes every day.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.